Hi, this is Sherry Lynn Madcat. I am doing basically kind of a study on people and what it was like to grow up with at least one parent having a business. Um, Personally, I grew up with my father having a business, and it's quite a different experience. But I don't know about other people on how their experiences were with having a parent who had a business or has a business. And I was wondering whether there's a difference for other people as well when it comes to this, if there's things that are just not quite the same as the other kids. Anyway, the first person I have who has decided that he would talk to me about anything is he's actually my cousin Gurm. His father was a businessman, and he can talk more about it as we get going here. Uh, let's see. Hi, Gurm. How's it going today?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. Let me see. Now, panic and freak out. That's a nice shirt. I do
Thank you.
agree with the sentiment about it all. So, as I said, your father was a businessman.
hmm
Um, could you tell us what kind of business he did?
Um, my father owned a golf range and along with a mini putt on the premises. So just involved handing out buckets of golf balls for people to practice hitting out onto the field.
Did he do other kind of businesses as well, or was it
Um,
just
I don't. I know, for the first decade of my life, he was. Can you still hear me?
yes, I can. I can hear you
Okay.
actually a lot better without the Skype. That's why I turned
Okay.
it off. Sorry.
Um, yeah. I know he was a manager of a gas station for a long time, and then until we bought the golf range and then moved out there.
Hmm. So when he had these businesses, um, for instance, when he had the gas station,
hmm
was there anything different about your life when he had that?
Different about my life. Well, I guess after school, I sometimes got to go over to the gas station and I'd hang out in the back room there. I guess most other kids don't get to see what's in the back of one of those gas station areas.
Hmm. Was so it was different because you had to wait for one of your family members to pick you up, or
I mean, my school, like at least it depends on when we're talking about. Like for the first little bit, my school was close to the gas station actually, and so I might go there afterwards, or I could just walk back home. It was within walking distance.
Mhm.
Other than having access to the back of the gas station or whatever, I can't really think of much that was all that different. I guess some of the things I got to do, I got to go and refill the pot machine. That was like a chore that my father would send me to do once in a while.
Okay. Was it very different from going from gas station to golf course?
Well, golf range, not a golf course, actually. But
Mm. Oh,
the big difference, I guess, in on the golf range was I was expected to pitch in more, um, go out, pick up balls, put balls into the ball washer, man the till, stuff like that.
you never manned the tills beforehand?
Not at the gas station. No, I was not allowed to do that. My father did not own the place. He was just a manager.
And you were too young to anyway.
Right.
So, did other kids know that your parents, or your father had his own business?
Um, well, if they asked, I would have told them. If like especially if they come visit me because the house was right on the premises.
Hmm. Did they treat you any differently than?
Not that I can recall.
Hmm. So you had the only difference with your father having a business for yourself was basically that you had different types of chores than other kids.
Pretty much.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Um, Now that I think of it, it is kind of interesting that me and my sister were kind of like employees. We didn't really get paid like employees, but we were just expected to do things anyway because it was the family business. So like customers come in, rung the bell, we'd have to go out and serve them.
Hmm. Yeah, because he'd be doing something and you're available.
Hmm.
Oh, believe me, I know that one.
Now your father was an accountant.
Dad did income tax and bookkeeping and CCEH books. Canadian, I forget what the rest is. Dorothy knows.
Now that doesn't sound like a thing you just bring in like your young teenage kids in and say, "Hey, help me do the books."
Not, it was a different thing because we lived, at the start, we lived directly in the house because it started out of the basement. And then Dad bought a different building where we lived upstairs and the business was downstairs. However, to in order to get their attention to come upstairs for reasons like making supper, had to go downstairs and through the office. At which point it was trying to get past my aunt or my grandmother, not your aunt or grandmother, they weren't related to you, and they did not like kids being in the office. I think that's because I kind of accidentally got one of their favorite employees fired. Hey, if a 5-year old is answering the phone, talking to people, and giving out coffee because you're in the back smoking all the time, there's a problem. But yeah, it's a completely different, um, completely different type of situation compared to what your father had, especially with the golf course. We didn't get hit in the head by golf balls. Family, yeah, but not golf balls.
Never got hit in the head with a golf ball. Once by a golf club. I was hit in the neck once way out. Didn't know that people would be able to even get that far out, but got a golf ball to the neck.
Hmm.
And being run over by the tractor.
Who was driving the tractor?
My mom.
Ah, that explains it really. Unfortunately, that does explain the situation.
She had called me up for some reason, and she I was right next to the big wheel, and I guess she did something wrong. I took her foot off the thing, and it rolled. Fortunately, it was really soft grass I was on.
Hmm. And you didn't even have to go to the hospital.
No, my leg was kind of bruised, but I think we went just to check it out, but it was just a little bruised. That's all.
Good. At least it was only a bruise, and not anything worse than that. Um, yeah, I loved your mom. She was a very, very special person, but she was just as she could go just as brain dead as I can. Oh boy, stuff we do. Um, well, makes talking to you about your uh, family situation with business uh, very short because you didn't find anything so different. What was your
I
mom?
mean, like, it was nice. Like, had like whole open place. I guess one part of it is that I was expected to pitch in like with the project, like building the golf shelter to like
Oh,
the shelter for hitting balls from. I was expecting to pitch in, help paint the boards and stuff, and put things in place and all that.
yeah, yeah, I know that kind of stuff as well. Um, my dad had us when we were little pull CCH book papers, which is basically these big books with um, the heavy metal twangs for hold papers.
Hmm.
So you take out it. There would be a paper that says take out number such and such and such and such and such and such. You take those out and put in whatever it said to put in, and go to the next one. So, of course, we thought it was fun in a way until we realized, wait a minute, we're being used as slave labor. Hey, but we had quite a few things like that, like burning documents that are over 10 years old because they had to be destroyed somehow. So, document tire fire was a thrill.
Hmm. Yeah, I think my parents got a lot of use out of me and my sister that was pretty much we should have been paid for, I think, but it was just expected because we're family.
Yeah, yeah, that's basically how it goes. And building things or doing logging or pulling stuff out of the woods or cleaning up whatever mess. It was an awful lot of different things, but that did not have anything to do with the business. That was because of having the 100-acre property.
Hmm.
I think you saw that place once or twice.
That the place with the upstairs room completely filled by mattresses.
Probably.
I remember that
um,
place. That was a pretty cool place.
it was a very nice place. Uh, it took quite a bit to build, a lot of hard work, and smacks in the head with 8-foot logs. What else? So no other kids. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I know I had friends that I brought to the golf range on occasion, but uh, uh, yeah, most of the time, it was just the family there, and people would come in to pay to hit some balls.
Hmm.
Um, Now, my favorite thing about manning the till was when people would come in for mini putt, mini golf. Uh, we had a mini golf with all of the Peanuts characters situated throughout, which
Right, I
like
remember that now.
that is, I think, almost certainly copyright violation. So uh, I kind of put it off by saying that, like, because we bought it from the previous owner and it was already was a Peanuts characters mini golf course, and I kind of put out saying I guess the previous owner must have gotten permission for this, but that is
Yeah.
almost certainly a wishful thinking on my part. I bet he didn't get any permission whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. And your father wouldn't have thought of something like that. It's like my father wouldn't think of that. So, no, 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 no. My father would because he would have been dealing with because he's dealt with the income taxes and such. He would know what a copyright um, situation would be like.
So
So
anyway, I got off topic there. Like I was going to say, like my favorite part of it,
okay,
because like we had multicolored balls in a thing, and people could select their which color ball they wanted to putt around the course
right.
for the 18 holes. And my favorite part was just like handing them the scorecard and pen and saying, "All right, now pick your balls."
Get your balls.
That is for a young boy with a young boy sense of humor.
Hmm.
That is a fun thing to do a lot.
Well, even an adult sense of humor, an awful lot of us are quite amused with those kind of sayings. Um, there's what's his name? Balls T something. Gods, I forget people's names. But yeah, there's um, for ball pythons, people selling ball pythons.
Hmm.
Quite a few ball sayings. So that's interesting. So your time there, you didn't have a structured. You have to do this to get um, money for the weekend or anything, or you have to do this because this is uh, part of what you need to do to help the family.
Yeah, that was basically yeah. This is we're a family. This is our business. You're a part of it, so you get to pitch in. Uh, I don't even remember during my teenage years. I don't remember getting any kind of regular allowance. I'm sure I must have gotten money from them at some point because I had money to buy stuff, but I don't remember having to go to them hat in hand and say, "Can I please have my weekly allowance, Daddy?"
Yeah, I had that problem. See, my mom had to fight for Dorothy and myself because my father did not want to give us payday money because we were girls. We go out with boys and boys pay for the stuff for us. At which point in time, my father got the don't be a chauvinist pig around me growl. Listen, I pay for my own stuff. Think I'm going to let someone else pay for it and have them have expectations? Not a chance in the world. Yeah, I've always been strong willed, haven't I?
True enough.
Mm. Um, hmm. Did you have people, when they found out about the business, the gas station, did you have anything like kids or the other kids or teenagers or whatever at that time turning around and going, "Hey, can you get me free golf, free tickets for going there
To you mean to the? Are you talking
to the golf course instead of
to the
them
golf
having
range?
the range?"
Yeah, yeah.
Course, uh, right. I worked with courses. You had a range. Um, did anyone ever try to harass you into getting them in to hit the balls for free?
Um, I don't remember ever being harassed. I probably gave out free buckets of balls to my friends. I think that was a leeway that I was given, like if I could. I sometimes made just my own coupons for people. I remember doing that and not even running it by my dad, just assuming that like just like for like somebody I knew or something, make a coupon for them to get a certain amount off, and uh, yeah, I just assumed that it would be accepted because it was me who made it, and I vouch for this person. I don't remember any of them ever being cashed in or whatever, but
Well, at least I'm not sure how your father would have reacted to uh, that.
I was a weird kid, had some weird ideas.
You weren't as weird as Dot. I mean, Dorothy took people through our house to in a complete tour, charged them for a house tour at our place because this is where crazy Stephen lived, and this is my crazy sister Sherry, and blah blah blah. And it's like I'm sitting in my room reading, and it's like she's coming downstairs with a couple kids and walking around and saying stuff and blah 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 blah, goes past me and shows her stuff in my room. They're picking things up, and she goes outside, and I'm like, what the and then she comes down with another two kids, right? Goes back out, and I go upstairs, and I was like, what the hey are you doing? Oh, I'm doing, doing a house.
Is that it? This is where my crazy brother lives. I mean,
This is my
could,
crazy
could
brother.
she not could she not say that the place was haunted? They say that 50 years ago in this very room.
She didn't even have to use haunted. All she had to do is use Stephen. Because Stephen was known to be a pretty scary dude, right? And I mean, there were bets around the school on whether I was going to survive till I was 20 years old, literally.
Hmm.
But that's. Did you ever do crazy things like that besides making coupons?
Crazy stuff about the golf range. I can't remember doing anything really crazy. I certainly never took anybody on a house tour of my place.
Yeah, Dorothy could be original, that's for darn sure. Yeah, no matter what I do with that, it never seems to be in the right position for me. Never shows you quite right. So nothing like Dorothy's. Uh, so that's not bad actually. You didn't you
I
didn't
did.
have
I do remember one time, um, and it's one thing that I felt really bad about. It's not a mischievous thing that I did, but kind of a neglectful thing that I did. I was like they had we had these coin operated video arcade video games in the thing for people to play with, and I would
right.
sometimes play with one of them. And I remember one time a customer came in, and I was in the middle of playing with him. Asked him to wait until I was finished the game, and he didn't like that, and he kind of stormed off.
Oh, did he come back and tell on you?
He did come back. I guess he calmed down a bit about it.
You were using it first.
No, he wanted service. He wanted me to pour him a bucket of balls,
Oh,
and I was at I was at the thing, and I'm like, could you give me a moment to finish this? And yeah, I guess that was pretty unprofessional.
yes and
I was just a teenager at the time, and I wasn't being paid for this, so I think my kind of lackadaisical attitude about it was a little justified.
in a sense, yes. I mean, uh, if your parents are going to leave you with something and not pay you for it,
I
and
mean,
you
yeah, I
know,
was allowed to take quarters from the till to play it, so.
yeah, and it's it's like being a little slave sometimes when you're the person's kids. I mean, however, there are a lot of people who would say that's natural. You know, your parents have to do something, then if you're there, you're going to have to do stuff as well to help the household. Put in your weight by taking out garbage or cleaning the dishes or washing the floor, whatever. But when it comes to a job and they have you doing this job, what can they expect from a kid, especially when you know darn well that you doing this job, someone else would get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of different, amazingly enough, on such a small token reference, a small token issue that didn't even go anywhere. A lot of people could have a big reaction about that. And it's weird, very, very weird with people. And I went way over again, didn't I? Are you still able to hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay. Okay. Um, hmm. how if the show is showing up at my actual YouTube site, or what it's doing. It's oh, it is nice. Yep, I have top chat and live chat and this chat and that chat, and it's too late for people anyway, so no one's in there. um, what else about? You could still ask me questions if you like. I'm still trying to come up with another one here because there wasn't really a large um, portion of the work that you were left with. You were mostly left with a little bit of taking care of. Uh, you did do the ball washing, right?
Yes, I did the ball washing. Yeah, I lifted like big buckets into the ball washer and
Mm-hmm.
did all sorts of things around the place. I even helped my dad with the books because he didn't. He wasn't good with computers, so he left. He handed me all of the data and stuff, and had me put it into a spreadsheet, and I'd print that out for him.
Hmm. There's another. uh, I did with my father's business. I did do typing. The typing was about four carbon copies on the old heavy typewriter. You know, the ones that you drop and you break your leg and your foot,
Mm.
not the ones that you drop and you kind of break your toe. These were the big things. And we had to be very accurate because it was a pain in the butt trying to go all the way through, go back, do whiteout on every single page to get one little number changed, and then go all the way back and line everything up. So I had, I had things like my grandmother, not your grandmother, not on the our side, but on my dad's side. And she came downstairs and started giving me trouble about this tax that was not done properly. And I looked at it, and the thing was that we would put our initials on whatever we did. So I looked at it and it's like, Grandma, what's my name? She's like, Sherry Lynn. Uh-huh. So if my name is Sherry Lynn, what are my initials? Why would you ask something like that? It's SLD. Blah, 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 blah. Take a look at the initials on that. Oh, these are not done by you. No, they're not. She tried that one the once, and it's like, nope, not taking trouble for someone else's work not being done properly. I took great pride in being able to do that work really well.
Mm.
But it's stuff that I learned when I was quite young. And well, I learned how after I started talking at 5. I learned very quickly how to answer telephones and everything else. Um, was there anything really interesting about the golf range that you could say about? I mean, I know you also went out in the golf golf ball getter
Mm-hmm.
machine.
The tractor, yeah.
And anything else that would have been interesting besides the boyfriend I had way back then who got hit in the head with the base with the one of the balls.
Like, are you asking if we've had other injuries?
So I'm asking if anything was interesting that happened out there. Were there I don't know what could happen on a golf range.
I don't remember anything all that exciting ever happening at the golf range.
Well, that's good. Sometimes, not being really exciting could be very nice.
Yeah, it was a pretty peaceful life.
Not bad. Okay, so I guess that's all we really would talk about this here because it's already 37 minutes in. And yep, that is a wrap, I guess.
All right, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for allowing me to use you as my first victim. Take care, have fun,
Yeah, have a good
and
night.
have a good night. Okay.